Yes! And it's Andy Vyman at the double! Bristol City leads a seven-side derby, and Bristol City have won it! Martin slides away in celebration. Antoine Semenyo, take a bow. Sykes, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He gets his first Bristol City goal. Oh, goodness me, Andy Vyman.
It's another October midweek match. We're here at Ashton Gate for tonight's game against Preston North End. The players are in the building, readying themselves to take on a team that, apart from the weekend, have broken records for their 0-0 draws. Let's hope tonight our forwards can get on the score sheet and go in front early doors, scaring off manager Ryan Lowe's side. Welcome to Robins TV, and I'm pleased to say with me is Lewis Carey. How are you today, Lewis?
I'm really well, thank you.
Glad to be back in Bristol?
Yeah, lovely to be back. I try and come back to see the family as much as I can, and if we can somehow get down to see Bristol City play in between time, makes it all the better.
Definitely. Well, it's great to have you here, and I'm sure you're hoping that we can bounce back from the weekend's defeat and a string of performances that we obviously want to improve on.
Yeah, most definitely. I think the games that I've been down to this season, I think we beat Cardiff, beat Huddersfield, so overall my omen's been quite good, so I'm hoping to see a good performance this evening and get back to winning ways, most definitely.
Definitely. Hopefully tonight is the night. Well, let's head over to our commentator Toby Osborne, and he's got all the lineup news for us.
Thank you very much, Louise. Yes, a lovely evening in BS3. No rain as of yet. The lights are on. The pitch looks immaculate as always. Hopefully Bristol City, as you say, can break down this pretty stubborn Preston North End backline. Let's have a look then at the starting 11s that will go toe-to-toe. Starting with the Lily Whites. Two changes for them after a memorable victory at Carrow Road on Saturday. Andrew Hughes and Daniel Johnson come in for Jordan Story and Alan Brown. A reminder, Daniel Johnson, as we know, if you followed Bristol City for a number of years now, has been more effective against the Robins than any other English club. 7 wins, 4 goals and 4 assists against us in his career so far. The Robins wing-backs will have to be very careful tonight as well, up against 19-year-old Alvaro Fernandez, who's on loan from Manchester United this season. He has 4 assists and 3 in his last 4 games. Up front for the Lily Whites, Maguire partners Emile Rees. The Dane was top scorer last season with 20 goals in all competitions. Couldn't quite keep pace, of course, with Andy Vyman. And this season, he has 5 to his name. On the bench, Brad Potts, Alan Brown and Ledson make up the substitutes. 4 changes for Bristol City, and pretty comprehensive ones too. The captain, Dan Bentley, drops down to the bench. He's replaced by Max O'Leary. A big opportunity for him. At the heart of defence, an area of much debate is now occupied by Tim Closer. Andy King on the bench as well. I'm sure Lewis will have some views on how that back 3 will work tonight. The wing-backs, Sykes and Jada Silva, remain in the starting 11. Change again in midfield. Masenga replaced by Joe Williams, who returns after suspension following those 5 yellow cards. Then finally, up top, Semenyo returns, replaces Naki Wells, who drops down to the bench. And after making his championship debut on Saturday, Dylan Kadji keeps his spot among the substitutes as well. He made a pretty positive impact when he came on and didn't really put a foot out of line. Right, difficult decisions for Nigel Pearson tonight. Let's hear what he expects from his starting 11.
Nige, you've opted to make 4 changes tonight. We'll obviously start with team news. One at the top of the team sheet, Max O'Leary in for Dan Bentley. Could you talk us through the thinking behind that selection?
Well, we needed changes from the weekend. And, you know, I mean, there are players who are playing tonight who maybe are a bit fortunate, and some who, there are 1 or 2 who maybe a bit unlucky to be left out. But we just need to make some changes, and I want Max to go in there and be positive. So he's not had opportunities this year. He's got one tonight, so he needs to make sure he takes it.
The other changes are right through the spine of the team. Tim Close back in defence, Joe through the middle, and then Antoine up top. But how good is it to have Tim back in the back 3?
Well, I mean, Tim's had time out too, so he needs to perform. If people make the assumption that Andy King is left out through performance, that's not the case. There are, I think him and Zach actually competed pretty well and kept going in the game at the weekend. So you make of that what you will, but there are players in the side who need to respond. More importantly, we collectively as a team need to respond tonight and put in a performance which we're proud of, not that we come away thinking that's not good enough.
We know what Joe's about. He can add a bit of bite to that midfield, and Antoine up top he can tear people apart. So that's what you'll be hoping for tonight, I'm sure.
Yeah, Joe's had a bit of a mixed bag so far this season, and on his day he's a very, very good player. He needs to make sure he shows some control as well. Likewise with Alex Scott and Andy in there, they have to function as a unit. And you've talked about Antoine. Antoine can make things happen out of nothing. And we are in a fortunate position that we have a number of forwards who are, in either good form or dangerous. So I've got no qualms about using any of them tonight.
Lewis, some pretty straight answers there from Nigel Pearson, but what are your thoughts on that lineup and making those changes?
I think the first thing he said was changes were needed. So from a manager's perspective, he wants to see a reaction from the team. He then threw down the gauntlet that they need to perform. So there's obviously been some harsh words said within the dressing room over the last 2 or 3 days, and the manager's got every right to make the changes that he feels needed to get the desired outcome this evening. I always think it's interesting when a back five comes in, whether it's like a back five or back three. Away from home, generally, teams when they play a back three, it does end up being a five with the wing backs coming right in, being more solid and trying to keep a clean sheet. And with the change of a goalkeeper with it, I think that's what the manager's looking for this evening. However, being at home, I would also like to see those wing backs, become a little bit more advanced and let the 3 centre backs deal with the problems ahead of them.
And I'm sure the amount of Bristol City games you've played is incredible. I'm sure you've had those moments where you've had a bit of a dip. How did you get back and make sure that everyone around you was playing and was just tighter at the back, not letting those balls through and them scoring? Yeah,
so again, it all depends how goals are being conceded. Are the back four and the back three giving away chances because they're giving away possession? Is it because gaps are opening up between them? Is it because they're jumping out of position? Is it because they're getting done in behind? Or are they fit? Or are they getting beat up physically? I think you've got a mixture of, centre halves there. You've got a mixture of everything: boys who can play, boys who can be physical, and boys who are very good athletes. So when you are up against it, it is about what's the word? I suppose getting everybody in, keeping more compact. But also coming back to the present moment, which is the game now, and not being worried about what's gone on in the last 5 games. Because the easiest thing to do is worry about the last 5 games and let that snowball and momentum build against you, and then we all know that the crowd can turn them with after minutes. So it's important that they start solid, get the crowd behind them, put the pressure on Preston, and then build from a solid foundation.
Definitely, and we know he can score. We've got Vyman, we've got Conway, we've got Wells, we've got Semenyo. All of them been scoring a lot of goals, but Preston have started to score more goals the last few games. How do you think Preston have been playing actually this season? We've had a lot of draws, but you sort of said that I said they were risk averse, but you sort of contradicted that and said, well, maybe they've actually been playing really good football, and it's just tides are changing for them.
Yeah, again, it's always perception. When you see that you've drawn, drawn 6 goals against, and only scored 7 and got the most amount of draws in the league and things, you could look at that as a negative all the time. Whereas I've seen it as a positive, as in they're 1 goal away from winning more games than they're drawing. And the stuff I've heard about Preston this year, very much like the manager's blueprint, is that they play very good football, and I think that all probably came to the fore on Saturday with an excellent win away at Norwich, where they scored 3 goals, and that's 3 of their 7 this season. So I think they're a very good football team, which will create chances. However, on the flip of that, Bristol City have always got goals in them. You know, with the four front players and then Vyman just behind them. You know, from Martin, Semenya, Wells and Conway, there's goals in the team. Behind that, there's lads that can create as well. So it looks like it could probably, against all the betting, be a high-scoring game.
Definitely, and one win for us, like Preston, will bump us up to the table. But let's turn to something a little bit different. Recovering from injury can be a lonely time for a footballer. But this week, Eamon Benarus was joined by some of the media team for another episode of Robins Uncut. Here, we're going to take a look at how he is recovering from his injury.
Very good, Eamon. Good. Ooh, someone's breathing.
Heart rate reached 205, that's what happened.
Make sure that touch on the pass goes right past the cone, yeah? Then you can wrap it into the goal.
How many sets? 4 or 5?
5.
5, okay.
5 today. Make sure this ball goes right way back as well, yeah?
Yeah.
So you get a full press on that mannequin.
Yep.
Brakes on hard. Remember what we said last week? We should hear you hit the floor. Good. Dribble away. Go on, touch, touch, touch. As soon as you stop, press out. Brakes on. Shuffle. Good. See that good first touch? Well done, you. Outside foot. There you go. Good man. Very good.
Chest volley.
Wow.
Chest volley, but yeah, we'll keep going.
That's what's called being loud. So that's your fault completely.
He's never heard that.
No, I didn't hear it. We'll have to ask the man on the mic in a minute. You've got evidence now.
Yeah.
Oh, bobbler. Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
I'll go. Push out your feet. Good touch, you. Well done. Walk. Fill your lungs. Loud and early communication.
Yeah, chest and body.
Better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to hear your braking mechanism, yeah? Leave the ball, push hard, little steps. There we go, that's much better. Go on, press in, you're going to finish on Lewis.
Yes, knee volley. Yeah. Yeah.
Get the backtrack to finish, backtrack to finish. Go on, go on, go on. And recover, 2 minutes.
Safety come off on that last one.
I don't mind that. Okay, change up. Pass, set, first time finish from me.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In here, dribble out, leave the ball, backtrack hard, press forward, then do your backies, then axel again. So we're adding in another axel.
Yeah.
Do you know the one where you could hear your feet landing?
Yeah.
Do you know what you did differently?
Short, sharp.
Yeah, short and sharp, and what else? You landed on your heels. Heels break, yeah, heels break, toes go.
Yeah.
Okay? That was good. Apart from some of the comms.
Hey, we need clarification on the mic there.
It's right there.
Yeah.
It's right there.
I thought he had an earpiece in or something. So.
Oh right. Oh yeah, sorry, we all wear earpieces on the game, yeah.
Alright, let's go.
Well, hopefully Eamon Benarus will be back soon. It looks like he is starting to get his fitness levels up, which is great. But coming up on Robins TV, we'll be ticking down to kick off, and we will also be catching up with our Bermudan boy, Naki Wells, straight after the break.
Might not wanna get close. We a little wild war, covered in tattoos. Run it up, taking all the views. Stepping on place, feeling the fear. I know you feeling it in the air. Whole squad wearing all black. Motivation's looking real bad. We back to the bone, raising a fire alone. We ain't never needed nobody. Give me 6 feet, this is my party. Ain't got no feelings, we heartless. Take a peek inside the darkness. Blow up the spot, then we run it. Ready or not, here we coming.
When the red, red robin comes bobbing along, along.
The Robins, who this season have gone bobbing along right into the second division of the English Football League.
The Robins.
If you've ever been to Ashton Gate in Bristol, you'll know that is the signature tune of Bristol City, the Robins.
So we've got all this outdoor space here, and it's perfect for companies to come in, whether they're small or large. So we cater for maybe a team of 12 or a team of 800. They can come here, have a really positive experience and be rewarded for all their hard work in the office or whatever industry they're from.
As we've got such a big company, a lot of us don't see each other.
Being able for the first time to get everyone out together in one place doing an activity together was great for team bonding and boosting that morale.
We can hone in on specific skills such as communication, leadership, teamwork, resilience. Here we've got a 400-metre military assault course, which is fantastic for team building. If you want a morale booster, this is the place to come.
Welcome back, Bristol City fans, to Robins TV. It's less than 15 minutes until kick-off, but now it's time for us to take a closer look at one of our star players this season. Naki Wells is back among the goals, and Toby Osborne caught up with him on the golf course to find out more about the boy from Bermuda.
We have come up to Long Ashton Golf Course this afternoon to find a man in his happy place. He's a Bristol City striker with 10 goal involvements in all competitions, and he's got high hopes of firing Bristol City to the Premier League. Can you guess who it is? Happy with that?
Not really, no.
I love how I stood there then, looking at your shot as though I'm some sort of pro. How are you doing?
How are you, mate?
Good to see you.
As always, as always.
So is this a regular occurrence for you?
Not that regular, but I mean, I try and have a golf club in my hand as much as I can, really.
Yeah.
If I would interrupt it with my football career, to be honest. But yeah, I try and play as much as I can do.
See, I'm not a golfer. 90% of my friends play golf, but I don't play golf at all. Thoughts on the attire? I've tried to
it looks good. It looks good. You could do some golf shoes. You could do some golf shoes, but you look the part, you do, yeah.
Thanks. So what's your handicap?
It's not official, but it's probably about 13. I don't have an official handicap. I'm not a member at any of the courses around here, but yeah, I'd say about 13 is about right.
Any of the other boys golfers? I think Sam Bell a golfer?
Yeah, so I play with Belly, Max O'Leary. Max O'Leary's very good, very similar handicap. I usually take his money when we play. George Tanner plays a bit, and Tim.
Well, are you all right to sort of analyse my efforts here?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you.
Obviously,
have
I'm usually commentating on Naki playing. Now it's his turn to commentate
exactly.
on.
I'm gonna enjoy this. I would
so
advise
as I said, I'd never play.
I would advise you to tee the ball a bit higher. First of all,
the ball should be higher.
Yeah, a bit higher.
Okay.
Higher.
Higher than that.
You can.
That okay?
Nah, still
higher?
Too low. Put your club to it.
Okay. Supple knees. Arse out.
Yeah, just have a go, man. That's the driver.
Okay.
Don't be scared.
Here we go. I mean, that's. I assume there's netting.
No, that hit a car just now.
No, it didn't.
It's something.
Has that actually hit a car?
I don't know, hit something. I heard something, maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, I hit it well.
You hit it far right. You know, let's aim at the gaffer's office. Straight.
Right, well, we'll carry on this interview, but you might not ever see me again.
No, that was good.
So for you yourself, you've obviously, last season wasn't necessarily, probably, I guess from your perspective, you want to be starting games, but you bided your time, and now you're firing on all cylinders this year. Do you feel like you're really loving football? I'm not necessarily saying you didn't last year, but are you feeling like you're really loving your football at the moment?
Yeah, I am, because, you know, I had to, endure maybe a similar season to last year only once in my career. That was my first season at Burnley, in terms of having to bide my time, having to be patient, feeling like I'm doing everything I can do on a training pitch, but, you know, obviously the lads in front of me were doing well, and that was kind of a similar circumstance last season. I was given them a few opportunities. I wasn't really able to take them. You know, I was fit, I was hungry, I did everything I can do off the pitch. I think the gaffer knew that as well, but he kind of had his assembled team, which was doing very well. You know, Antoine, Andy, and Chris Martin did fantastic. I kind of just had to sit there and be patient and wait and hope opportunities come. And, you know, it didn't really materialize, and it was one of those seasons that I look back on and kind of learned a bit from it as well. And now to be playing again, scoring, I think, you know, I always would have loved for it to be like this here, because, you know, I was brought in for that purpose, and a lot's gone on since I've been at the football club. You know, life's not the same as it was before, but to be playing, finally in front of fans, you know, putting in good performances, scoring, feeling important again, feeling wanted, that's, yeah, as a footballer, it's as good as it gets.
Well, there's more to come from that interview in the clubhouse. So Naki Wells is safe from Toby's miss-hitting, thankfully. Are you any good at golf? Is that one of your preferred sports after football?
I loved golf when I was playing, especially when you got, you know, some afternoons off. I'd probably try and play once or twice a week throughout the summer. Now it's probably once or twice a year. I did get down to the same as Naki there, got down to 12 at one point, but would probably be back up at 18, 19, 20 now probably.
Did you play with the people that you were playing football with? Was that a thing to go out, let some steam off, and maybe build more of a rapport with your teammates outside of football?
Oh, most definitely. It was, you know, there's many, I should say, top quality golf courses around this area, so it wasn't like we didn't have any choices around. And with regards to the volume of lads that played, there was a lot of players that played, so many different four balls. And then we'd incorporate friends as well, so friends of friends, and we'd all come together as much as we could for charity events, or just to relax and, you know, some time away to football to free your mind. And yeah, it's a brilliant sport for that.
Well, we can see behind us that Bristol City are warming up. And what would you say, or what do you think the players coming into this fold who maybe haven't played, like the likes of Max O'Leary this season, what would you say to them getting involved and maybe making sure the pressure doesn't get to them?
Well, I think that's the thing that you don't focus on. So it's like, I think a lot of the time in football and life in general, we focus on what we don't want rather than what we do want. So it would be asking for the players and setting the demands of what it is that you are looking for today. And then instead of saying you have to take your opportunity, I think it's more along the lines of, you know, we've got your back and you're selected for a reason. And I think it's the best way and the easiest way of freeing somebody up. They can all play football to a very high level. That's why they're at the football club. So I think if you can free people up and give them the confidence that they're selected for the right reason, then I'm sure they'll go and fly.
Well, hopefully. Well, it's that point where we say goodbye to those of you watching Robins TV on YouTube and Facebook, but you can head over to the Bristol City website and click on the Robins TV part of that and buy your match pass wherever you are in the world. But it's now time for